What's your background?
Oh, I don't know how I would have done that. I know what that is, though. That's a spell against joint pain I found.
What?
From the Sumerian ages.
Have you been doing it?
I guess they used it for cattle, but it doesn't say you can't use it for a person.
The Tucker Carlson.
No, that's Nick Cage as John Madden.
Chicago Pope.
He's like a Chicago, Philly, and New York Pope somehow. Like he got all three like big sports.
Insane.
East Coast, Midwest.
Yeah, no. Is this a big ploy to get Americans back on Catholicism?
I don't know, but I know he's got a brother that they keep interviewing, and he's got like hot takes about shit.
Yeah.
That'll be good for fodder.
He's always been a Sox fan.
That'll be something fun that other podcasts will do better, and then we'll cover like a week late and be like, "That was gay.
That was crazy,
fucking dumb." Right?
I would have asked him this about the molestations.
Yeah, Catholic Church episode.
Yeah. He's fucking covering up all these priests out here touching kids.
Who, me? No, I never got fucked.
You talking about me?
I don't want to talk anymore. You called this president? Yeah, I'm done.
You gonna bring that kid shit up? I'm fucking done.
Someone does something wrong. You acknowledge, like, what you did was annoying. That person is, like, entitled to more upsetness at you being upset than you are entitled at being upset for them fucking up.
Like, I think I know what you're saying.
If you did something to piss me off, that like, is wrong, not just, like, I'm being offended.
And you get upset. I then go, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you upset me.
Yeah, I messed up, but you don't need to freak out on me. It's like, I'm not... What level of like, how can I hold you responsible without triggering you or anything? But that's what that was just like, where you were like, I'm sorry. It's like, I'm not mad. I just don't want that to happen again. So I'm voicing it.
I'm sternly letting you know.
I'm just saying, everyone talks like they want communication, and then the second someone communicates something they don't want to hear, it's like, oh, you could just shut the fuck up. It's like, no.
Well, no, everybody wants positive criticism.
Positive feedback, yeah.
Positive feedback. Don't give me the negatives, brother. We trying to bring down my fucking vibe.
Miss me with that shit.
Trying to bring my fucking vibe down, dude.
People telling me negative feedback is redundant. I've already thought about it 10 times.
I hate myself enough to where you can't say shit to me.
People say things to me, and I'm like, you're actually missing one of the main themes. You're beating around the bush. It's not that I don't like this or don't like that. It's that I don't have it in me.
I'm defeated.
I'm all spare parts.
Spare part.
You never watched Letterkenny, right?
First few episodes.
Did I mention how I think sports betting has been legalized to take profits away from Native Americans?
Privately.
Oh, okay.
Privately, we've discussed this.
I just wonder.
It's an interesting thought. Because think about it. They're tax-free on that reservation. You know what I mean? They can do whatever the fuck they want. Do they get their own laws? Like, can they legalize whatever they want? Or is there still like a nation law of the land?
They, I think, can add their own laws on top, but I think they have to listen to whatever laws exist.
So there's basically, it's our land. We're letting you live on it.
Because I think
doing your own thing.
I think there's gray areas because I know there is shit they can go and get away with over there. But I think also if the cops show up and it's like we're looking for this fucking missing girl, they can't be like, oh no, not here, and they gotta be like, damn, like
fuckers.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be like, well, we're gonna look around to find out.
They have their own like police force and shit though.
I know, but I'm saying if our cops show up, I don't think anyone can tell them not to. I don't know.
Yeah,
they have to send in the Coast Guard.
Maybe you need a warrant.
Well, that probably in general.
Permission. You have to smoke the peace pipe with the head chief.
I was wondering, do you think Karens, obviously they probably don't go to jail a lot. A lot of their shit's probably fines. But do you think if a Karen does wind up in jail, they're like a child molester in a guy jail? Where everyone's like no love from anybody?
What do you mean? Like
a child molester is universally hated in jail.
Oh, of course. But like what do you mean by the Karen thing? Like they went to jail for just like bitching out shit. at like
you got no friends here, cunt. The Australian dude that Shane brought over, Donald Forbes McCaan.
The dude that's like full blown Christian now. Yeah, he was funny. He was good.
He was explaining that.
I like that type of Australian guy who's just like a fucking nut.
He's a good dude.
Yeah,
Makes music.
Makes me make anything.
Writing a book.
What's his name?
He's James Donald Forbes McCaan. James McCaan.
James McCaan.
He's got a book. He's got a graphic novel coming out that I think comes out like a page at a time on Patreon because he has to pay someone to draw it.
Really?
But it's basically Air Bud, but it's tennis.
What? This is his passion project?
It's the thing he works on. It's good stuff.
It's a manga?
A graphic novel.
Oh, a graphic novel. What's the difference?
Mangas are Japanese.
That's the only difference?
A graphic novel technically
backwards?
would be like a comic book is an American version of Japanese manga. A graphic novel, people use it kind of as a catch-all term, but technically it would be released that way. Like, comics are single issues and then get bound together into a trade. And then people look at the trade and they go, oh, a graphic novel. And it's like, for the sake of conversation, sure, but a graphic novel would be released as one fucking story. Like, people always talk about Watchmen being a graphic novel because they just read it as the trade. And it's like, but it's 12 issues. It's not a graphic. Yeah. Versus, like, Marvel had a line of original graphic novels. There's a couple Thanos ones. Like, there's certain things that come out as a graphic novel. That's a video game. I don't know enough about it. That's Mark and Covey's shit.
I got some book at home that's like you flip it backwards. Maybe that's considered a manga.
Japanese just reads back to front.
Yeah, they do all shit backwards. I mean, you know, after we drop that
They're
shit
all right to left. It'll fuck you up because I'll read like a ton of Ippo and then go back to regular shit and be like, whoa. Like, don't know which side to read. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, that would fuck me up. Especially, because especially like comics and shit. Like, I wouldn't, like, if you're looking at panels, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, do you read them like that? Okay. Okay.
Old school comics used to have arrows sometimes if there was like a confusing panel pattern.
Yeah, like if there's 1, 2, and then like a tall one, and then there's another 2. It's like, well, do you read these 2, and then it goes to the big one?
Yeah, it would still be like left to right, then top to bottom for a comic. But sometimes when the panels get crazy, they'll like... Old school, they would have like arrows kind of at the end of the panel to show you where to read next, but... Then people started almost blending, like, it becomes like the art of visual storytelling to get your eye to travel to the next panel, like, by way of the art. So it's almost not set up like grid like that. It's more just like, let your eye...
Well, you've showed me the ones. Yeah. Like, sometimes you do it. They do it good.
That Manhunter one with the...
That's great.
Yeah.
That's cinema, baby. But that's also just, that's how you should draw, like, a shot
Walt
list.
Simonson.
The man just he drew a shot list. It's perfect.
He's one of the best there is.
Perfect storyboard. That's Manhunter? The one we were talking about?
Manhunter?
Manhunter? That's the one we were talking about a few episodes ago?
Sort of.
Okay. Different.
I think what we brought up was Golden Age Manhunter because he literally was hunting humans. He was hunting criminals because he was hunting animals too easy. So it's like, what about the most dangerous game? A man.
Yeah.
Then in the Golden Age version, they think he dies, and they bring him back in the 70s, and they say that they've kept him almost Winter Soldier style. They've kind of had him like in a tank, and they have a ninja master that trains him, like when they wake him up for mission. So this dude's trained the fuck up, and then they ice him in between missions. And then what you don't find out till after is that they cloned the shit out of him too. So they just have like these super soldier type things.
So they have a bunch of like Winter Soldiers.
I forget I think it's called the Combine or something. It's some like cabal organization that has name. Like their
the Combine.
Yeah, comics is great for that, man.
Columbine.
70s and 80s. It's my shit.
That's Manhunter?
That Manhunter's 70s, yeah.
Okay.
And then there's another Manhunter that is the original Green Lanterns that are like androids before they realized that they needed to have like a sentient, more like a sense of justice because the androids were too black and white about crime for the Green Lanterns.
Green Lanterns used to be androids?
Yeah, they were called the Manhunters. That was the first thing the Owens did to try to do justice on the universe.
Who did?
The Owens.
We don't have to go crazy into the Owens.
The planet Oa.
You're like a Wikipedia page. Oh, no, what is that? What are the Owens?
The planet the Green Lanterns come from with the core power battery on it is Oa.
Oh.
So those little blue guys, there's 7 of them, and they
tend to the lantern.
They forge the rings, and they are in charge. That's why usually everyone listens to him because it's like a military setup. But Hal is such a hotshot pilot.
Well, that's the thing. A real Tom Cruise. He's not
afraid to challenge them.
What color rings he got?
They're in charge of the green.
Okay. I see.
I forget what I was watching. I think it was that like Apocalypse, Justice League Apocalypse or something. It was one of the movies on the newer side that didn't suck. And they go to it's like a what if story. So they're just it's kind of like they're just killing everybody, like a lot of what if stories, because it's like you never get to see these people die. So
which is cool.
It is cool. I like it
if
when
you do it right, though.
When you do it right and you don't act like, wow, what a fucking mind. It's like
I don't want a trans fucking like, ooh, what if Green Lantern?
No, not like it wasn't like that. But I forget who someone.
That'd be a fun what if though.
Someone like goes into the power battery to blow it up or something. I forget what I think Jon Stewart's like about to go and recharge his battery to be able to go and fuck people up again.
Yeah.
And they just like nuke the planet or something, or like nuke the battery. I forget what it is, but it's a cool movie. Has like a what if thing. Darkseid fucking chains Superman up and has a laser shoot kryptonite into his chest.
Into his nipples.
And they make the Superman logo out of kryptonite on his chest. So he doesn't kill him right away. He basically like he's just like dying of radiation poisoning for the rest of his life. Yeah. And he sends him back to Earth to let everyone know, like, hey, your strongest guy's fucked. So don't try to do anything.
Who did this?
Darkseid.
Darkseid.
Who Thanos is based on.
Great album. Band. I don't know. Something else.
I don't know.
I'm thinking of Black Star. Is there some like horrific what ifs on, like, is there a subreddit that like people just turn these superheroes gay?
I would imagine. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, like people didn't come in being like, did you hear the new fan fiction? You guys into fan fiction?
Fan fiction
I got some what ifs
for stuff that is like discontinued. People like pick it up and do fan fiction. So a lot of comics are just always going.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't have a chance to die where the people are like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, what?
Let me fill in the blanks with, like, when Dragon Ball Z ended, it was all the fan, like, Dragon Ball Z abridged and shit.
Okay. And that's all bullshit.
There's still, I'm sure, fan fiction for pre-existing characters, but I don't know if it's fan fiction as much as it just would straight up be smut.
Yeah.
Like, when you pass fucking Family Guy porn on the side of porn, like on the ads, that's not like fan fiction. It's just like, oh, they drew them naked. You know what I mean? Like,
wow.
They did it.
That's what Lois's tits look like.
I mean, Doc was a creep that used to work at one of the stores and would come by and act like people gave a fuck about him. It's like, brother, when you leave this door, 9 people obliterate you.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a lot of fucking, I feel like, regulars at places. They come in, they act like they're like, I come here often, I'm the fucking VIP. It's like, yeah, I go to Jewel weekly. Like, I don't know what the
What's
fuck, like, I don't walk in a Jewel with a big dick going, yeah, where the good lemons at? They're in the back. I buy these things by the fucking case.
Got my classic bits.
Yeah, no, it's like, what are you talking about?
No, that was a dude that
You're
would
a fucking loser.
He'd buy, like, Cave Woman and
sick,
like titty books like that.
Hell yeah.
But then he would have, like, mainstream things that he thought would be cool. He'd be like, in X-Men Essentials 8, that issue with Storm where she's in her towel, when they reprint because Essentials are just black and white, when they reprinted it, they didn't reprint. There was no color of her towel. So it's just her tit. And I'm like, Doc, I don't think they would have drawn her tits
under the towel
and then drew a towel over it. Like, what? I don't even know what you're saying.
No, they would draw the fucking just towel.
Jason always loved that. And be like, you don't want to get that. Oh, shit, Volume 8 come in? The one with the Storm's titties hanging out. I'm like, I hope it does so we can fucking prove him wrong.
Yeah, like what are you talking about? I had this crazy thought that John didn't bring up in his video. He shows this picture of Chicago, and it's like built the fuck out, and it's in like 1850, and all the bridges that are made of iron, they're going over all the fucking. It's set up like a grid. There's no cars. Cars need 50 years still. And it's all set up like this, and it's people all living in these tight fucking houses. Where do they keep the fucking horses? How do you live in a city lot? Everybody's got a horse. Where do the fucking horses go? I'm sure I'm dumb, and there's probably like a community stable, but like
I don't know enough about. I know,
but like, how the fuck did that work?
Yeah,
I guess London did it, but like. Or all these other, but who even knows?
What we're gonna do? Secede from them and then copy their horse shit?
Yeah, no, fuck that.
My grandparents worked. They owned a
horse stable.
Yeah, outside of like
London,
Chicago.
No shit.
Yeah, but not in the 1850s.
The
1980s.
A booming time for horses.
Yeah, I guess rich people would just come and like. They had like rich people on one side that would have like their horses, and then they had like country ass folk that like they knew because that's what they did from Tennessee when they came up.
Yeah,
they're like farm fucking people.
That's cool. It'd be interesting to come up and like be the first guy to like, oh, you don't have any like ranchers out here? Like, I'll fucking do that.
Yeah, I'll be.
That's why like a small town halfway makes sense to me. I wouldn't like it, I don't think, but like. Or if you had a small town and...
If you got in good, you probably would.
I'd love it. Yeah, no, absolutely. But, no, if you can move in and be like, oh, you guys don't have, like, a guy that sells caskets? I'll be the casket guy.
I'd be a good guy to be.
The casket guy.
Small town, there's not that many people dying.
That'd be your issue. You'd have to be, like, casket, tombstone, grass cutter at the cemetery, morgue.
Substitute teacher.
Oh, the funeral home guy at a small town would be horrific.
Yeah.
Because you know everybody. You're like, oh, you're cutting them open. You're like, fuck. That's...
Just looking at a lady and knowing how small her husband's dick was.
That's what your
little... Or how big more.
That's what you're...
Being like, oh my God.
That's what your dick looked like?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Seeing some lady and knowing that she was getting piped out by that thing. Can't look you in the eye now.
That's why it'd be weird to like know your doctor personally. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't like know your doctor on like a personal level.
My mom has said that before where she's like, or I've said that to my mom, I guess, like, because she said how sometimes it's nice to be honest, like so friendly with the doctor, but then other times when it's like, so I'm having trouble with ... or whatever, XYZ. And it's like now kind of weird almost.
Yeah.
Because now it's like you don't have a clinical, you're like,
yeah.
oh, I know about this guy's kids or whatever. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Or just like having someone over and being like, oh, I was, you had your hand on my dick the other day. I don't like that.
There's that.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, you've seen my asshole.
It is funny to think how you could, like, know a person for, like, people have one-night stands, and it's like, well, you'll know me. We were closer in a way. My best friends will never, you know what I mean? Like, it's weird how, like, you need, like, so much time with some people to do something, like, oh, but I'll stick my dick in you, you know, like, well, that's cool to do.
And I'll forget your name.
Yeah,
I'll forget your name, but, like, I'll fucking eat your ass.
I see. It's crazy how common that got.
Ass eating?
As far as from what people say.
Yeah. Oh, whenever
like
I've
mainstream.
I've heard it brought up a lot of people that you would think would like it. Go like, nah, I'm not about that.
Who would you think likes it?
I don't know. Just like people you know in life that are like, I could see you being like, yeah, sure, but like.
I just remember that guy at the gym being like, yeah, dude. This is forever ago before people were about it. And he was like, yeah, dude. Of course I do. I mean, she showers first. I don't know. He was like, it tastes like water.
Yeah.
I was like, well, yeah. That would make sense. It'd be weird if...
It'd have to be a shower. Well, no. There's also freaks that are like, I don't give a fuck.
I don't need to be right at the shower. I just need clearance that it's cool. You know what I mean? Like that it's not.
Well, you'd have to be out of it. I mean,
I feel like it kills the mood to ask anything. You know what I mean?
that's what I mean. You gotta.
Girls always like those fucking things where they're like, "Can I kiss you now? Can I do like those things?" Where it's like, that's not what anyone wants.
Well, I think the thing is that like, there's no like. There's asking obviously but like if you're in a like, you see her take the shower, you got mentally you're like this is gonna happen later at some point. You got eyes on him the whole time. You're like I know you're going to the bathroom. Okay, how long are you in the bathroom for? Are you taking like what's going on? You just eat and then it's starting. You're like okay, I know we're good.
See, I was dealing with like coming over after work or something. So I don't know.
That's a fucking gamble.
That's why.
That's a fucking dice roll, dude.
And you don't want to ask.
No.
Because it's like one, not actually rude, but it's the thing that will be taken as rude.
Yeah.
Even though it's strictly logistical. And then it's also like asking anything just feels like it.
Horrific.
Takes the.
Horrific. You might have to do a smell test.
I mean, there's definitely times I've been trying. And again, like, I can't imagine. If she had anything going on. I don't think she would have even entertained doggy if there were like a chance of catching a whiff of anything.
You would assume.
So that always made me think like,
I think women are also generally clean.
Yeah, she was a clean lady. Like I said, she sprayed her pussy with something after fucking. She would like
really?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Like spermicide?
I have no idea. I don't think so. It was like in a perfume bottle type thing, but it wasn't perfume. So maybe I don't know.
Really?
I have no idea. I really asked me a
That's
question.
interesting.
Like,
women have all sorts of tonics.
I was like, that seems like something that would kill a child before it could be born. And I like that.
I'm about that.
Let's say I take this condom off and you just double down on the spray.
Charlie Kirk would say, at conception, it's alive.
A lot of this would probably agree.
I've realized that a lot of his videos are labeled like pornos. Charlie Kirk dominates blue-haired lib.
Or those like 20 verse ones. Like
yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a bukkake. It's a libtard bukkake. And he signs up for it. He gets off on it. I think that's his shtick.
MAGA.
He gets off.
Trump alpha fucks lib blue hair.
That's this whole fucking shtick. And then he sits there and he takes it on the chin. Because he's half a cuck himself. And he likes
also
it.
Just knows that's getting him paid.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like, I'm a loser. Guy that's in debt from college and is a fucking fag.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm a loser as you make me money right now. Like, not saying it's right or wrong, but just like, I can understand being like,
I love his,
entertained.
I love it. Charlie Kirk dominates libtard.
Charlie Kirk ear fucks lib with facts. Wayne, did you know there's a statue in Indiana of a Native American war chief who killed a bunch of military soldiers? Because it was back when we were like trying to fuck them up. Which we're not saying like, oh, all Native Americans were good and we were all bad. Like some were good, some were bad on both sides. This seems like it was one where we were like being bad and they were like, yo, stop, chill.
So we were like, all right, make the statue.
He killed like a bunch of fucking good people. Like they kept sending good guys over and he was like, nah fam, I'm like an actual warrior. I'm not like some guy that.
What's his name?
I don't know, but
it's in Indiana?
Yeah.
What's your background?
What?
When you lock your screen?
I think it's just showing everything that's back there.
Oh.
Oh, actually no, I must have done that by accident somehow.
What's this beautiful line that you're
Oh, I don't know how I would have done that. I know what that is, though. That's a spell against joint pain I found.
What?
From the Sumerian ages.
Have you been doing it?
I don't think I can. I'll find it.
You can't do the incantation?
I guess they used it for cattle, but doesn't say you can't use it for a person.
It's mainly used on cattle when they can't fucking walk.
Joint pain is not mascuda, it is shu. Its lurking place is the cattle pen. See, that's why it doesn't really work for me. Its standing place is where the sheep stand.
Well, no, this is the thing. Did you go into the Sumerian dictionary and look up what cattle pen meant?
No, I need to get this in Sumerian.
And read that in Sumerian.
And then be able to swap out the words for cattle pen with, like, bed or whatever.
Exactly.
Because
it's the classic.
It's not going to work if I say it in English.
No, it's the classic war mode. It's the classic war mode thing where you read something in Hebrew, it says one thing. You read the English version, you're getting the chud version.
I remember years ago there being a YouTube video about a guy saying how learning languages ruined his life. And as I look into this, I'm like, oh, I could see that. Because a second language, you're like, oh, I'm able to express myself in so many different ways. 10 languages, you're like, I don't know what reality is.
Yeah, like what?
I don't know what anything means.
It's the Tower of Babel, which I guess is a real place. They found it.
Yeah. I don't even know if I wrote anything on it down, but yeah, I got back into Babel.
Meaning, which is also just a metaphor of like, we were all working together as a people.
Blacks, whites.
Yeah, the whole gang. The whole gang was together. We were all friends. Everybody was happy. You know the aboriginal dreamland? Mm-hmm. I started looking at that. I think Billy was talking about it, but I remember hearing about that before. And they talk about it's a powerful creation. They have this powerful creation being called the rainbow serpent.
Yes.
Yeah. The rainbow serpent, water, life, fertility. It carved the rivers and the gorges and the water. It moved through the land. But yeah, they got all these different like deities that basically do the exact same shit that Marduk does and all that. But it's different. Like they either live in after the creation, they live in like the earth, and like I guess they're still there, and they could go to like this dream. I couldn't wrap my head around the concept of dreamland, but they had the same idea of a firmament, of like the separation between the heavens of above and down here.
The Hebrews, the Egyptians, the Mesopotamians, everyone's pretty down with the firmament.
And
I still have my theory about the Aztecs. I have to get back to.
It's not exactly the same as the Bible or Mesopotamia as the idea of a solid dome or a sky vault. I thought was great. Instead, it's described the sky and the heavens as being part of the spiritual and interconnected system with the firmament. So, like, their idea is that it's still the separation of like us and them, but it's got they use the Milky Way as like a highway, almost like a river, like we were saying. It's like a river that goes through, like it's like a traveling point, like an access point.
Someone was saying that if you're looking at like the River Nile at night, you see the stars reflected in it.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, it's identical to space.
Yes. Which
so
looks
how the fuck wouldn't they call it water?
Yeah. Well, no, after putting together the, like you don't move the same because you can obviously like push on, like you could float in water, you could float in space. Like I could see the similarities between like the oceans is almost as scary as space. Like we don't know shit about the ocean. We don't know shit about space. And it's like,
it's two things that meet at the horizon.
Yeah, like you understand.
Just look out, ocean becomes like where's one turn into the other?
Yeah, exactly.
And again, I'm retarded.
100%. Dumb as fuck.
I don't need to hear about it.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. We're fucking talking.
I'm trying to think what the fuck Tower of Babel thing I read. I've been down 17 roads lately. That's why we're still on tablet 5.
Bro, we said 3 months ago we're gonna breeze through the ENUMA ELISH. Now we're fucking. It's 6 tangents deep.
Beautiful though. I started doing this thing to try to map out what's where.
That's what I'm trying to find. I had they had the layers of.
Do you want to get in? Because this relates back to what we're going to cover in ENUMA ELISH. They talk about what each layer's made of, and it checks out.
What do you mean?
These are these colors for a reason.
Like it's fire, water, air, earth?
No. This one's Hittite. This is their firmament. It's the sphere is the same, but then flat roof. This up top is what they call the celestial circumpolar zone, which I really enjoyed.
It's the Hittites?
Yeah. The 4 elements, as we all know them. The underworld, the earth, the sky, and the celestial circumpolar zone.
That one's not bad.
I just think it's interesting.
Yeah.
This again will become relevant. Because one of the things we're going to talk about makes this kind of make more sense.
I was like, well, where are the fucking stars? Are they shining through the firmament? How we say...
the stars are drawn onto the inside
they're embedded.
The firmament.
They're embedded in the firmament.
Which is a very difficult point, because now that means the firmament has to rotate to make the stars move, because the stars can't move on their own. They're drawn
I was reading a thing. They had the thought that the stars were just stuck in place in the sky. And it's like, well, no, because they recorded like the movement of the star. Like, so that doesn't make fucking sense. And then how does the moon and the sun come around?
That's what's really fucking me up, because you look at most of these and you'll see that the sun and the moon are inside the firmament. And then you have this one, though, where the sun and the moon are above the firmament. So fucking... Which everything says, though, that the sun travels through the mountains and underneath the earth and then back over, because it's not going... It's not coming around the earth like Saturn's rings or whatever. It's going literally like a fucking circle over the earth. So it's like, whoop, in through the mountain, down, passes, don't want to get lost in the water, go through the mountain, through the underworld or whatever, and back out. So some of these, they have these windows.
Well, that's what the gates are.
I think those are different, because there's windows for the sun, and then there's 7 gates for heaven and hell, or heaven and underworld, and then there's the gates with the bolts they talk about that hold the floodwaters back and stuff. And then, but they say that there's windows that the sun like comes in and out of.
So it pops in and out of the firmament.
I don't fucking know anything.
That's what you're saying.
I read 9 different things, and I put them in chat GPT, and I go, what does that mean? And then sometimes it tells me shit that I know is wrong, so I have to check everything it says now.
I was getting it down I was talking about this, and then because I couldn't understand, like, what they meant by the firmament. I was like, can we sum down, like, can religion as a whole just be a big metaphor for alchemy? And it goes, yes. That's a great question. And here's the answer. And it started breaking down shit like that where it was like, yeah, all of like I had it fucking saved. And I forgot to fucking send my shit over. But no, it was like, it broke down the same thing where it was like the firmament could just be our atmosphere that holds back space and keeps us alive in space.
I've thought about it.
Yeah, well, yeah, we've talked about it before, but like the waters of that makes.
They say, though, that the stars, that he draws the constellations onto the bottom of the firmament. I'll just read the thing. We brought up 3 of the things we're going to get to in it, so I mean, we might as well read the thing at this point.
Yeah, fuck it.
I think this was the last thing I said. The Tablet of Destinies, which King Yu had taken in carry, he took charge of as a trophy and presented it to Anu. The ... of battle, which is set on his head and fastened it, he brought before his fathers.
This is ENUMA ELISH Tablet 5.
Yes, part 3.
This is what we're reading through.
Tablet 5, 3rd entry. Now the 11 creatures to which Tiamat created, ... He broke their weapons and bound the creatures at his feet. He made images of them and stationed them at the gate of Apsu, to be a sign never to be forgotten. When the gods Lamu, Lahamu, and all his fathers saw it, they rejoiced and were glad. Anshar embraced him and proclaimed his title to be victorious king. Anu, Enlil, and Enki gave him gifts. Marduk's mother Damkina hailed him, crying with joy over him. She gave him a clean, festive robe that made his face glow. Gate of Absu probably means that it could be the doorway of a temple built over a sacred spring, and then that would be considered like a gate to Absu.
Yeah, because Absu became the lower waters.
The low waters. But as we also know, Enki lives in the Absu. He has his abode in the deep. Possible that it could be an entrance to like where Enki lives, but context-wise, it seems like it's just a general, maybe like big entrance.
I heard a thing. I'm gonna butcher this. Where we talked about the above waters and the below waters, and they were saying that the above waters and the below waters could be like the same, like the microcosm and the macrocosm, where the above waters are like the spiritual realm and like has infinite potential and has all the elements and everything up there, and the below waters are like the physical realm that it's like the tamed version of the above waters.
Or on a smaller scale even, it could be like the earthly waters that is water, and then the heavenly waters is the it's like space.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't want to take it to like the spiritual level and just kind of meet in the middle on like as above, so below, like, oh, we'll call that this. Yeah.
Well, that shit too, because I was asking it about the as above, so below thing, and they were like, it keeps saying that it's like the below is a reflection of the above, and like whatever happens above is reflected down in the physical realm, and what we do in the physical realm affects like what happens in the above realm. It's like it does. I can't fucking wrap my head around the concept. I don't know. I still can't like. I don't get it.
But just how they say that he made images of them, which are I think we covered before, is probably like idols usually. So stationing them at the gate of Absu just makes it feel like you put statues outside a temple. You know.
Yeah.
So she gave him a clean, festive robe that made his face glow. He entrusted the ministry of the Absu and the care of the holy sanctuaries to Uzmu, who had brought Damkina's gift at the good news. All the Ajiji assembled, and they all prostrated before him, which means not just to bow down, but you get down and you lie flat. And like in Chappelle's stand-up...
And the doctor checks your prostrate.
Well, no, in Chappelle's stand-up, remember when the cop tells him, get down, spread your sack?
Yeah.
That's basically what they're doing. And then Usmu is just Enki's divine attendant. So she brought Damkina his wife's gift at the good news. So fucking like human.
Yeah, this is like the middle shit in the Bible, where it's like, all right, family shit, I get it. You don't like the...
Well, no, I just mean like their God. It's like such a weird human. Like, oh, bring the gift. Sounds like my grandma, you know. It's goofy. And then the ministry of the Absu. Ministry also means church. So again, I feel good about Gate of Absu being some type of temple. Church, temple, statues out front, all that shit. So all the Ajiji assembled, and they prostrated before him. This is all about Marduk. All of the Anunnaki kissing his feet to pay him homage. They all joined together to pay him reverence and show their submission. They stood, then prostrated, yelling, "Behold the king!" After his fathers had celebrated him properly and took their fill of his beauty, Marduk listened to their utterance, being covered with the dust of battle. There's a full line missing.
Fuckers.
I wonder if being covered with the dust of battle means, like, he hasn't had a chance to wash off yet. Like, he's still... It's so fresh, the kill.
This all just happened.
Right. I wonder if that's kind of what it's saying.
Or he's just, like, he just got back from making whatever physical realm.
Yeah, like, he just got done working. He's like, I haven't even got a chance to shower yet. And they're like, they're just that jazzed about it.
They're all in the temple chilling. He just came back and he's like, you guys see what I just did?
They're all pumped.
Yeah.
Anointing his body with
fuckers
cedar perfume, clothed himself in his lordly robe, with an awe-inspiring crown of terror as a royal aura. He picked up his mace and held it in his right hand. He grasped in his left. He firmly set his feet. He hung the staff of prosperity, success, and authority at his side. After he had put on the aura of his kingship, his netted sack, the Absu, with a fearful awesomeness, he was seated like. In his throne room, in his cella, all of the gods, Lamu and Lahamu, opened their mouth and said to the Ajiji gods, "Previously Marduk was our beloved son. Now he is your king. Pay heed to his command." Next they all spoke together. "His name is Luguldemarankina. Trust in him." When they had given the kingship over to Marduk, they blessed him with prosperity and success. "From now on, you are the caretaker of our shrines. Whatever you command, we will do." Marduk opened his mouth to speak and said to the gods, his fathers, "I will build a blue, luxurious house of pleasure above the Apsu, but beneath the firmament, with its firm floor. And this house will be in opposition to the house of the universe. I will establish a shrine inside. I will found my holy chamber and will establish my kingship. When you come up from the Apsu, or come down from the heaven, to make a decision or go to the assembly, let this house be where you stop to rest. I shall call it Babylon, the home of the great gods. We will hold a festival in Babylon." The gods, his fathers, heard his speech. They said, "Who has authority over all that you've made other than you? Who has authority over the earth other than you? Make our rest be there forever in Babylon, as you named it. Let them bring daily offerings." So then it goes, "Whoever shall, ... our task which that we, ... therein its toil, Marduk rejoiced, or they rejoiced. The gods, he who knows them, he opened his mouth showing them light. He opened his ... speech. The gods prostrated before him, saying, Luguldemarankina, their lord, formerly Lord you were called, our beloved son, now you are king. He who preserved us, he who with a spell saved our lives, the aura of club and scepter, or of aura, mace, and net." But this is what I was talking about.
The blue roof, so the lasers don't get them.
This is how they see things. The upper heavens, Lulu Danatidu stone, which we know from other texts that I have fact-checked.
That I have fucking looked at?
That I've not. I didn't just fucking Google and go, yeah, it says the... This is what it is, brother. 4 books.
Yeah.
They agree. Top of their field peoples. They're not finding fucking fringe. Because again, this is what we used to do. We used to listen to Billy Carson and shit.
We're done with that. Fuck him.
I
Fuck
read the thing, Billy. I know what it fucking
Fuck
says.
Stephen Greer. All these fucking assholes.
Trying to pull one over on us to make a buck.
We're not doing that anymore. We're doing the fucking work. We're not falling for these false prophets. We're going to find out who God really is.
And then I'm going to meet him.
I'm going to fucking meet him.
With a shotgun.
I wouldn't be fucking God.
Matters into my own hands.
So why is it red? I still don't get the color. The colored system.
Heaven of Anu, middle heavens, sky, earth's surface, Apsu, underworld.
Yeah, but are they physical layers, or does it get to a point where you become...
They are physical layers because they're floors. So the lower heaven, the firmament, the dome that covers Earth, that we look up at, that the sky, the constellations are painted on, that we look up
at.
The
ISS is fucking in, that all this other bullshit.
Or
is that not even, like, is ours...
I don't know anything about any of that. Okay. I know that it's made of jasper.
Okay, good. Okay.
Which is, a lot of people today would hear jasper apparently and go, oh, that's an opaque stone. What they don't realize is that in the region at the time, jasper was not opaque. It was translucent. It was either translucent, which you would see through, and you would see the floor of the middle heavens, which is the same color as lapis lazuli, which is not blue, Mark, sky blue.
Sky blue.
Sky blue. And I'm sure you could find, if it was just translucent, you were just like glass. But they say jasper stone, Ispis stone, because sometimes it's translucent, but sometimes it's a dull gray, like a cloudy sky. Or sometimes it itself can be sky blue. Or rose, violet, yellow, purple, the magentas of the sundown time, all the beautiful color. So they picked a stone that could be, it's the sky.
So when it's clear out,
you just see straight through, and it's the floor of the middle heaven where Marduk lives.
And it's blue. So during the day, on a nice clear day. So are the clouds part of the lower heavens?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So when we're in a plane...
Well, they're in between. The lower heavens, it depends how you want to talk. Is the lower heaven the firmament physical thing? Because then no. And you would consider it being part of Earth's sky. But if you consider the lower heavens to be like that sky region before you get to terrestrial Earth, then yes.
That's what I also learned, is that the firmament might not be just a fucking thin layer of glass. It's probably a region.
The Egyptians think it's iron because they regard that as the cosmic metal because of meteors. Because science will tell you that
King Tut's
the meteor comes from exactly. Yeah. The meteor comes from space.
Dagger. But
to them, they would see that as falling from the firmament, which is an interesting thing to try to reconcile because you think everything God does is perfect, kind of, at least in the Hebrew sense.
Yeah.
Not so much the Sumerian one that I know of yet because we haven't gotten to people yet, but we know from like the Bible, the old, Genesis, everyone's like, oh, if God did it, I'll just go along with it. Like, it seems weird, but I'll cut my son's dick. It's like, so it seems weird that they're so easily like, oh, the firmament's falling apart. It's like, well, it can't fall apart. God made it.
Yeah, exactly.
But Sumerians think it's tin. And then remember the word
tin?
Not iron, tin. Like that's the metal that's made out of. But remember that there's the one word, I forget if it's Hebrew or Sumerian, to be honest, where it comes from, but there's one word that how it gets translated into firmament is because it means like to bang out, and the way it's usually used is when you bang out metal, like to flatten it out. And the same way it says Tiamat stretched. So it's like flattening out, like you had something and you had to like pat it down to get it to cover. That's literally like what the fucking word means.
So you're on the thing that it's a physical thing.
I'm not on anything. I'm reading what they're saying, I know, and I'm telling people about it. I'm not saying anything. No, I don't know fucking... I'm fucked up in this house all goddamn week reading about this shit.
So if it's a physical thing, and you could see through it, and you see the bottom layer of heaven...
It's beautiful.
That means that physically we have our thing, there's the dome, and then there's another physical layer above there that's the middle heavens? Or does at some point...
The middle heavens floor... is this lapis lazuli blue, but the ceiling is the red with black and white patches, which is the floor of the upper heavens.
But it's a physical thing.
Oh,
like, it's fit, like...
What do you want me to tell you, brother? They said the thing's fucking metal. They think it's tin. They think it's Tiamat. They think it's fucking dragon. What do you want from me? I don't know what... I literally sit here and I go, wow.
Are you reading the book? Are you into the thing? Are you researching it?
I'm telling you what they're saying. I don't know.
What is it, though?
Bro. We didn't get to Exodus yet. But when we do, we'll read about the blue brick floor of heaven. That's what they say in Exodus.
What are you talking... In Exodus? The Bible?
The Bible. It says the blue brick floor of heaven.
Oh my God.
Was that the middle heaven did you mean, Bible?
So that's... But so...
Not the heaven of heavens where I knew the sky god lives.
So when he's making, he's making all the layers. When Marduk comes back after, like, he's
fucking with Tiamat,
he's making the middle heaven and the lower heaven. He's making everything.
Yeah, Psuf goes down. I don't know if he makes the underworld or how. The underworld was a huge sidetrack for me. Huge sidetrack. Still, I'm very confused. The sun and the underworld.
Does nobody want to talk to us?
I would love to get a scholar on here to tell me where I'm retarded at.
I don't see why they wouldn't. We should send him the first ENUMA ELISH video.
I'm going to find some good people for it. Girls aren't going to get it. I see these lady professors. I'm like, I'm sure you're very accomplished in your field, but I don't know if you're going to get what we're going for.
Yeah, you're not going to.
I need a guy who I know this is why he got into it, is because his ass saw Graham Hancock on Rogan and was like, huh, pretty interesting.
And there's someone out there who's waiting for someone to. He went
that route. We went the podcast
successful route.
We both attacked it.
Yeah.
Different angles.
Rogan's going to die. Graham's going to die.
Graham's going to die. Rogan's crazy.
Rogan might live forever. When do we get to the underworld?
I'm realizing that a lot of these things, it's like the Bible, but there is no Bible. They're just all fragmented texts. No one ever bound them up into one good thing. Which is good, though, because then when they did it with the Bible, you look at all those other things, and you're like, so what, these don't count? And they're like, well, some of them do, some of them don't.
Yeah.
So at least with the ENUMA ELISH, you're just like, oh, everything's on the table.
As it should be.
Got to read.
That's why are we drawing line? Like, what's the fucking point? Like, what?
That's where I got so sidetracked trying to find the side stories with the underworld stuff.
I bet a priest would talk to us.
The sun.
You think a priest would talk to us? Like a hip priest that has Zoom? I don't want to go to a...
I want to talk to a rabbi.
Yeah, somebody.
I want to talk to a rabbi.
Do you think there's a hip rabbi with Zoom?
Rabbis believe in the firmament. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost positive.
Really?
They have to, bro. It fucking... in one of these fucking books, they had like... a guy saying some shit and then amended. It was like Rabbi fucking Shmuley says that no, that's not.
We look half Jew. You look like half a Jew.
You look like half a Jew.
You look Jewish.
Behave half
with those
Jewish.
With those glasses and your fucking nose. You look half Jew.
The
glasses, the juices.
Remember that Wes Huff guy?
Yeah,
translator dude.
You're not Jewish anymore.
He says that in the Bible they describe God, which I didn't think they. Their whole thing is you can barely even say them. They got like Yahweh, like you can't.
You don't fucking say Yahweh.
You say the other, all that shit. So apparently, at some point, they describe God. Moses and two other people say it. God is long in the nose, and he didn't know why that was funny for like 4 minutes. He was on that Flagrant podcast, like same as Billy Carson. And 4 dudes are pissing themselves laughing, and he's like, literally like the moment passes damn near, and he's like, oh, okay.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. That's fucked up. That's funny.
This is a very good book, though.
Mesopotamian Civilizations by
Wayne Horowitz.
Wayne Horowitz.
Certainly passed.
Certain.
Wish I could email him, but I can't. Gotta find some cuck that's like, oh, I study the law. And it's like, can you grow a pair and try to figure out who God is, please?
Can you be a fucking man?
Wayne, back in the day, killing it. Where's this book from? What's that say?
1908.
When men were men. When this guy probably been to Chicago. He's probably at the World's Fair.
Move your thing. Hold on. 1998. I'm sorry.
Okay.
He might still be alive. He's in Indiana. We can go visit him. Winnow Lake, Indiana is where this was. That's probably where it was published. That's probably not Wayne's address.
Probably.
Look up Wayne Horowitz.
Wayne Horowitz, academic. Lovely man.
Come on. He's 68. He's New Jersey.
Email. Contact.
I know, New York.
Perfect.
Institute of Archaeology.
Yes. Perfect.
Do that second one. It's in Hebrew.
I see that.
Bring me to the site.
Oh, virus.
Upload. Yeah, dude. Look at him, man. Mesopotamia. Yeah, perfect. There's his email. Obviously, we will be blurring this.
Wayne Randall Carlson here. I just I wanted to pick your brain for a minute if I could. The firmament. Randall, I love you. That's an I literally only can do that impression so good because I've listened to you for hours. It's not making fun of you. I like how you sound. I like listening to you. Having said that,
I'd like to pick your brain.
Wayne, what are your thoughts on the tin versus iron debate as to the firmament's substance? And then Wayne probably sounds crazier. It's like, well, Randall. I think the firmament is actually... I think it's fair to say. Sounds like RFK.
Sounds like Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, that was the other guy I was going to say.
Well, Randall, I do believe, the firmament is actually, a physical, it's a physical barrier.
Wayne, you're going to come on, Professor Horowitz, you're going to come on the podcast, if you'd be so kind. We're going to not debate, because that's not what we're about, despite our name being Bridge Burners. We're going to have a scholarly...
Do we have to fucking rebrand?
No,
we're fine. We're good.
It's a name. Who cares? It's not like it's everything.
Gives a fuck.
That's what's the matter. That's why I'm out on Twitter trying to make a fucking name.
I comment on Jon Levi's videos with our thing.
Try to get in the community.
Trying to get out there, man.
I followed all the good podcasts from the account.
I forgot to log out of the account. I logged back in, saw the podcast, started unsubscribing, thinking I got hacked. I resubbed, but it's like, who the fuck are these assholes? Some fucking...
Oh, no. Man, you can't land that button.
I don't know which one it is, man.
We talked about it.
Yeah.
And why is it that one?
They're purple.
I do what I can. All right. Wayne being live's exciting. I'll be drafting an email to Wayne. He definitely doesn't have Zoom set up.
Yes, he does. Wayne Horowitz? Of course he does. He could do a phone call. We'll call in. I don't need to see his face.
That's very true. We could do a phone call.
I know he's got a landline. I just don't see the need to have a cell phone.
That's probably why he's smart and can read all this shit. And I'm like, oh, ChatGPT, help. The guy that did all the work already and put it in a book and made it understandable, I still don't fucking understand. And then ChatGPT tells me the wrong thing, and I'm like, that makes sense.
Did you read the whole book?
No. I read that chapter, or I read that section of that chapter about the layers. That one I'm not reading in conjunction with my research. I read that in bed, and then I come back to it. Yeah, I make connections.
Gotta get you a Kindle.
Yeah.
If you guys could GoFundMe for Zach.
Patreon. Yeah, I'll say the N-word if that gets me a good Kickstarter. You see all that shit?
I saw that.
It's pretty crazy.
Say it. You don't care.
You're a tough guy.
Yeah, you don't
say it.
Yeah, who you trying to hide from?
I don't say it ever, not even in rap songs in the shower or car. Tell you that.
I'll tell you that much.
And I definitely don't say it when I see... I certainly don't say it at a Walmart.
No, we got to hit up Wayne. I'm sure we'd be able to understand him.
I just got to have good questions as well.
Yeah. We can't come in us right now.
Can't be like, so what do you think, man? He's like, about what? I wrote 4 books. Like, you're going to ask me? Read the book.
Can you
Like, yeah, man, shit's crazy, huh? You think these guys did mushrooms? Like, no, there's no evidence of that. I'm like, cool. Handbags, like,
oh, see, that's the thing though. We can't give away that we're into the Graham side, I think.
Bro, I'm into the what these motherfuckers wrote side. I'm gonna write scholarly questions about. I need to know about the firmament. I need to know about the layers. I need to know about the. We didn't even. Some of these. We only got to the blue luxury. The blue is the lapis lazulus. But House of the Universe is the other thing I need to ask him about. Because. Oh, and then luxurious house probably means the temple Esagil, which is in Babylon. And that's what they're talking about when they say later down in here, he's going to establish a shrine inside this temple, and it'll be his holy chamber. And he's telling all the gods, he goes, when you come up from the Absu, but he's telling the gods, he goes, when you come up from the Absu to earth, or when you come down from heaven, come down from the heavens to earth. So when you're traveling to make a decision or to go to the assembly, he says, let this be the house where you stop to rest. So that's the luxurious house. And the luxurious house is in Babylon, because Babylon is the center of the universe in Mesopotamia.
Yes.
In their worldview.
But if he makes it in Babylon, that's on Earth.
Right. When they're traveling through from Apsu up or from the heavens down, they stop on Earth to rest in this temple.
And this is okay.
In Babylon. This is a temple of Marduk. It's called Esagil.
Okay, that's not the same temple that Marduk lives in.
It's like his earthly temple, but that's not he lives in the middle heavens. It's like where he stay at.
Remember that one thing? I don't even know what it is, but remember when we were talking about like the levels of like ascension to like nirvana or some shit, and they were saying how like warriors are stuck. Like you can't ascend to the top layer. You have to go from the one layer, you have to skip the next one because that's where like the warriors stand.
You have to
and everything. That's almost like Marduk's the warrior. He's in that second layer. He can't reach. Like why would he go? I don't know.
I don't know enough about it to.
I don't either. Like
parallel.
That's just something I thought. Yeah.
No, but you know how they say Egypt is the center, like Giza is the center of the landmass of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about time frame. I don't know if 6,000 years is enough for this to change. I don't know if it's just different. If it's just the guy writing the story saying that he's the center of the universe. I don't know, but they think they're the center of the universe. Maybe if there was a difference in land, maybe Babylon at the time was like the center of the landmass or something. So that's why they made that spot important or something versus at the time of Egypt. Maybe that was the
I wonder when we read the Atrahasis if it's the same thing of like, this is the center of the universe. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like it's just like their version.
Yeah, theirs will probably be like upriver.
Yeah.
Because it won't be Babylon, it'll be
Yeah. It's very upsetting to know, like, because this almost gives, like, a godly explanation of, like, some of those crazy-looking temples in Sumeria or whatever, like, Babylon. But
I look at ziggurats and I'm like, so gods walk down these steps.
But it's yeah, exactly. But it's fucked up to be like, or like those lions in that museum.
The Lamassu.
Or the Lamassu, yeah.
Oh, the Babylonian walls.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's just here. That's them. That's the walls.
They walked by those.
That's insane to just think about. Like just.
But same thing even with the Lamassu. Like those stood outside the temple. Those are like protecting them from the demons.
Insane.
And the 10-foot John Marduk walks.
And
by.
that's if they're. And that's like
he opens his mouth, light comes out. Remember it says he breathes fire earlier.
Yeah.
That guy's walking around past those things that we saw.
Yeah, it's crazy. But what's fucked up to think about is that no matter how much Egyptian shit we read or Aztec shit we read, they don't fucking talk about the pyramids. You know what I mean? I don't think so.
Well, because that's like Kemet.
Yeah, or like they don't
That's
have...
like the before time. The Egyptians...
They inherited the things.
Yeah, they don't... They say they didn't build it.
Yeah, but like even like when...
Oh, but you're even talking like there's no hieroglyphs about it or whatever.
Or just like there's no there's nothing written about the pyramids. It's like of like the construction or like when they were put there.
Solomon, where the guy's saying he's gonna.
Yeah, I built the thing. It's like nobody said that. Like there's nowhere like, and this is also us saying like we haven't read the fucking thing, but like every documentary you watch, you go, there's no shit that says like, oh, and then Ra put the pyramid here. It's like no, it's like.
Yeah, the pyramids don't seem to factor into their like cosmology at all.
No,
it's a separate thing.
It's just a separate fucking thing.
I'm dumb. If it's not part of the cosmology, it makes sense because you don't need a fucking thing that launches your soul up into space if everything's normal. You only need it once a moon gets placed there that has a soul collector on it and a soul recycler and all that shit. Then you need to make a pyramid that can blast your soul off past that shit.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The aboriginals had the thought of like when the gods went up after the creation, like one became the sun, one became the moon, and those like they were put there then. It's like, oh, it was before moon. It was before I don't know. It's just we got to get into the before moon shit.
I know the people of Crete know of the before the moon time.
I wonder if there's some like crazy Kemet like African shit that we can read, or is that all just probably destroyed?
I don't know. We started with...
Where it's some shit like
started with the Abrahamic.
Yeah. Where it's some shit like the Ethiopian Bible. Like, oh, they have this thing that just exists here. Like,
well, like I said, I thought the Sumerian one didn't exist, and I'm pretty sure I know where that's at.
We didn't know the handbags existed, and they got them in a fucking museum.
Right.
What's the other thing you sent me?
I don't know.
You sent me something crazy. Oh, that study you sent me is crazy.
Oh, yeah. Talk about the layers. The only other thing I had highlighted in here to explain was
the handbag. Yeah, another
handbag. This temple that's at the center of Babylon that Marduk is telling them, all the other gods, to stay at, to rest when they're traveling. He says it will be in opposition to the house of the universe. And the house of the universe is different from the abode of the gods, which is mentioned in Tablet 1. Tablet 1 has the abode of the gods existing before Marduk exists, which means it would exist before anything he would create, like the firmament. So the abode of heaven has to be either referring to the upper heavens, or the heaven of Anu, as it's also called.
Is Anu the creator, or is Anu just the guy in charge?
Anu is the sky father. So
he's
not the OG guy, because Anshar and Kishar make him. And Lahamu and Lamahu make Anshar and Kishar. So it's not like he's the OG, but he's the first guy to become like the sky god. Because Tiamat and Apsu are total chaos as the oceans, and then Lamu and Lahamu are the sand and the silt. So it's pretty chaotic still, but it's a bit more solid. Then Anshar and Kishar are the earth and the sky. And now that's like the border of order and chaos. So now anything past that is on the order side. So I think that's why Anu is considered like the first, because he's the first of the order side and not of chaos. So the same way we talk about how Marduk probably stacks up to Enki and E, part of me wonders if those two are just him. I haven't gotten into anything that really says that yet, but Anu is like the Odin god, like the
head dude.
He's the head guy. Because again, like Anshar is his dad, but then it'll say how Anu lives up here, and Anshar actually works more as like a go-between between the lower gods and the higher gods. And it's like, well, that would go against any movie I've ever seen or story I've ever read where someone's dad
is the fucking message man.
Yeah, unless it's like some prince bullshit, but that doesn't. That's not how this reads at all. It just reads as like that's how it is. Like he was born, he was the strongest. So it's like, well, you're in charge, you're the strongest. I don't know.
That's the way you think society should run.
No, I specifically think that if everyone was the same size, then yes.
But that's the biggest guy.
I hate that so much. Just a big guy. Kill somebody. Training his whole life.
That's the biggest man.
And I hate overtly someone just having a gun and being like, yeah, I never had to like work a day in my life. But then you need the gun to kill the big guy. And then this poor dude that's in the middle stuck trying to better himself through training and martial arts and discipline
should just end up carrying a gun.
Or getting on horse meat and getting bigger.
Is that a fact?
Horse meat is code for steroids.
Okay.
Overeem. Remember Ubereem?
Yeah.
When he got popped, he was like, I don't know. I mean, I ate some horse meat. Do you think that could have been? Everyone's like, brother, you are the most roided looking guy we could have drawn. Like, your neck is insane.
Like that, what's that?
Vitor was the other one.
No, the guy from Pride. Black guy. Big guy.
Not Rampage.
No. Sap?
Bob Sapp? Oh, yeah. The 400 pounds with abs.
Yeah, he's got the big traps.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a video of, I think, who's the guy that's all fucked up? Tito Ortiz? I saw a video of him cutting onions.
I think I showed that to you, yeah.
I saw it put up on my Instagram the other day.
You see him nick himself, and him just not, he's like, yep, and you just...
There's blood all over the onion. And he
has a Mexican restaurant.
And he goes, it's good.
The onion's still not cut because he's holding it, and he goes, and that's how you do it. And it's like, brother, it's
good. There's blood all over it. It's good.
And it's not even like understandable nicks. It's like he cuts into him. Like you watch him just cut himself.
He's missing part of his knuckle.
He's like, yep. And that's the easy way to do it. Like, brother, I'd hate to see you fucking take it the hard route on that one. Oh, I was never a Tito fan, so I feel comfortable making fun of him. But it's like half being a dumbass and half the CT. But he was a dumbass prior to it.
Yeah. Ugh.
But yeah, all I wanted to say about this is that this temple that he makes on Earth, it corresponds to that, not the abode of heaven that we're saying is like we don't know. It's either that ethereal place that existed before Marduk started creating everything, or it's just the upper heaven. But there's that, and then a similar thing is the Isara, and that's what House of the Universe translates as. Isara or Ishara, the Sumerian or Akkadian. And that is what it's in line with. Because if you're thinking of Babylon as the center of the universe, the pinnacle of the dome would be where that thing is. Yes. The House of the Universe. Because they don't really...
Which is just always how that's drawn, though, is like this, and then there's the thing above it.
But it says...
then there's the upper.
It's found below the firmament, but above the Apsu.
Well, the Absu's just, of course, it's above the Absu.
Of course, it's above the Absu, but it's
the crazy thing is below the firmament.
That's why this Hittite picture has got me all riled up, because I wonder if that's saying that, like, it exists in this little spot. So that way it's technically still, like, under the firmament. But it's...
And that's, like, the gates out. Or that's where the moon comes through.
These are the gates. The moon.
Well, that would make sense, because the moon would then go...
See all these windows?
It would go in and out.
Stars. See, I didn't realize it first, but see, this guy got the colors. The blue for the second and the red for the third.
What do you mean?
The colors.
Mm.
Red, blue.
He went the other way, though. The netherworld is red. Absu is blue.
Oh, I mean these lines right here.
Oh. Yes.
He fucked up with the green. Although, in one translation, it does say emerald on the house. It doesn't say emerald for this layer, though, as far as I know.
Again, yeah. we spend an hour talking about this, and I'm more confused.
The other...
We gotta talk to someone.
I'm glad that guy's just so spry at 68. I assumed all these people are very old. But if I'm just saying, like, if the temple is supposed to be lined up with that thing, the house of the universe, and we know that the temple is the center, that's got to go straight up, and that's got to be the center. So then at that point, I wonder, does it also then, is that just in line with the abode of heaven, and then is that just in line with where E lives in the Apsu, and then is that just in line with the underworld? Like, is there just this sacred column?
Which is exactly what that image you sent me, that graph, that experiment where they found the living in the lair. That's how that thing was.
Because that's just...
That waveform was literally the fucking outline of the picture. It's the main. It's us.
I didn't want to say it.
And then it's the thing. It's the same thing.
I didn't want to say it.
That's what's fucked up. And that's where, like, shit gets weird, where you start talking about, like, spiritual realm. And my name is Mark 3C in your phone.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I've thought about changing it many times. But I'm still Zach Moron in Nick's phone, so I feel like I have to keep you as Mark 3C in my phone. I'm Zach Moron in all three of their phones.
Well, that just makes sense, though.
Doesn't make sense. Rude, and I don't like it when they get around each other and they remember that that's a thing. That's individually, they would never think of it, but they see each other and they go, Zach Moron.
Yeah.
I go, yes, it's very funny. It doesn't make me
punch
a wall. Though. It's I mean, you'd be retarded to pronounce it that way, but yeah, it's a letter off. It's a vowel that makes a different sound than the other letter. But
it's a vowel, a key letter. A letter you'd have to buy in Wheel of Fortune.
Exactly. A valuable, weighty.
Oh, that's the picture I'm looking for. That's sexy.
As you can see, the layers, much like an onion. And obviously, I understand everything about this graph, and I can tell you about it, I cannot tell you about it.
But the main thing is that the picture lines up.
All I know, that
means there's a fucking God.
Same deal.
Who's that guy?
Anu, Enki, Temple of Enki. Anu, Marduk.
That's the ziggurat they found. That's the one they said, like, oh, it doesn't exist, mythology, and then they dug that shit up.
The city of Ur.
Yeah, and they dug it up. I think that's what that is,
Saddam
right?
tried to remake. Well, in this version, it would be the Essigil, but I think in the other version, it's going to be that, what you're saying. I think the original version is the
Now, you said Enki on that person. That person.
This is Enki, who lives in the Apsu.
Enki.
E or Enki, who lives in the Apsu. Marduk.
That's Marduk. Okay.
With his dragon, Masuhu.
It's interesting. Enki's hat looks like that That thing they pick from the tree of.
A lot of guys have a hat like this because I thought it was just Enki at first, and then when I started like collecting pictures of the guys with that hat, thinking it was him, I started realizing that some of them aren't.
That's also what the points of the University of Chicago's tower look like.
It's not dissimilar to a Pope situation or an Akhenaten situation either. I really like this picture.
It is a nice picture. I like that picture a lot.
The shul.
The shul.
See, we can't do that with the rabbi here.
No.
We got to lock it up.
I think we'll be fine. That's the thing.
We got to write the questions down beforehand because it's when we get off topic where we start leaning into races.
Yeah. What's this vault? Like a bank vault?
The vault means ceiling.
Yeah. Well, the Jews would call it a... We're
trying to get to heaven so bad because we hear there's a vault up there. We're hoping it's still loaded.
God's still rich.
That's a joke for like 4 people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's like a really good joke, but 4 people would get it. And Wayne Horowitz might be one of them.
I think you would really agree.
So I'm pretty sure that's the end of tablet 5. I got to look into what that other thing was, but pretty sure it'll be tablet 6 next time around.
2 more tablets. And then we're moving on to another similar lane of interest.
Another discipline. That's what this is. It's all MMA to me, man. This is like, you got Jews, boxing, sand stuff, wrestling.
Yeah.
And you got to piece it together. And that's just kind of how I see the world. Because I'm such a... I watch UFC, so I get it.
Even Jacob.
You ever heard of Muay Thai?
Even Jacob had to wrestle with God.
Oh, Jacob's ladder's probably a ziggurat, by the way, I've decided.
Well, yeah, that's the closest.
Or it's the Tower of Babel, like a different one. Maybe they were doing other towers.
Maybe. I've also heard that the ziggurats could be a docking station for a spaceship.
Yes. Because they clearly don't go up to the firmament. But maybe if you want to, maybe you don't want to take your spaceship down to ground level because it doesn't you want to maintain the appearance of coming out of the sky. Mm-hmm. So it takes you down to the stairs, and then you.
They always show fire when it's like, it's not.
Yeah. You stop on a dime.
Yeah.
Also, these guys should be able to fly, though. I guess technically they don't say that they can, but like.
Well, yeah. What do you want them to do?
Yeah.
Really?
I want them to. That's what I'm saying. Like I expect them to, but then I'm like, oh, I guess explicitly, like you wouldn't have flying powers. The guy has fucking wings and can breathe fire, and has lightning bolts that he's throwing around though. So that's where it's hard for me to decide where I'm supposed to inject logic and be like, no, obviously they can't fly. But it's like, well, he's got 4 eyes and 4 ears.
And the dome is made of tin.
Yes, they say so.
Is that because they haven't seen iron yet?
I forget what their reasoning for saying tin was. I think it has to do with, again, that word that has to do with banging metal out. I think it's usually used for tin because that's like a soft metal that you could tin out or spread out. Yes. So I think that was where that
Great
came from. I think the word's like Rabisu or something like that. Sumerian word. Rabisu.
You should upload the entire Sumerian dictionary in a ChatGPT and say, using this as a reference, give me...
I have the Akkadian dictionary. There's not a good Sumerian one, or at least not that I can download all 37 volumes of like I could with the Akkadian one. These are other random ones I found, like grammar and shit like that. But then, yeah, that one's just straight Assyrian
Open
dictionary.
one of those. Let's see what that looks like.
Is this R?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Did I spell it right? I don't know. Fucking ask me. Firm, F-E-R, firm of a mint. could read this? You could read this?
What do you mean?
This looks like gibberish.
Oh, there's long stretches of gibberish where I don't know what this stuff is going on, but I could read this. There's a lot of like footnotes and shit that you go and you read elsewhere. And there's a list of they have these lists of abbreviations. So a lot of these things are written in like super shorthand, and then you got to come over here and be like, "Oh, it's like decoding it." Cuz back in the day
they make it hard.
But it's like a dictionary, you know what I mean? So it's like shit paper probably, and like they're trying to conserve space because every volume's 1,000 goddamn pages. So I think that's where they're coming from. But then my ass is sitting here like, gay? What? Why wouldn't he type the whole fucking word out? You know what I mean? Like,
well, then it'd be 3,000 pages.
Yeah, but my ass has a PDF. You know what I mean? I could give a shit. They're worried about fitting it on a fucking on a book. And shelf taking up space.
It's this tall.
And you can't control F.
That's why that's why
we get Wayne Horowitz on. We say, "Thank you, sir."
Yeah.
For doing the hard work. I would never dig in sand. I am a fucking bitch. I barely do yard work.
I would love
and went out there.
No. I mean, you could see why you'd be able to manipulate and reset a fucking civilization. Because no one's doing that research. There's going to be 10 smart guys, and 8 of them work for the people that are doing the reset.
And smart's going to mean, like, know how to use ChatGPT better than the other guys.
Yeah. That's our guy.
Wayne, can you hear me?
Wayne. Is there a reasonable way to explain the firmament?
Yes, there is. Let me tell you. That's how that's going to go. I'm going to email him.
Pull Wayne back up. I want to see his face again. I want to end on Wayne.
Wayne, it's Randall here. We met at a conference years back. You probably don't remember me. It's like, you're like the most famous guy I know. Of course I remember you, Randall. Well, that's flattering.
Flattering.
I love how he talks. Wow. It's funny because Graham's considered like the orator of the two of them. In a traditional sense, he is. But Randall does have like that folky, like campfire, like, I'm going to tell a story.
Yeah, I'm going to paint you a picture.
Hanging on his every word, like, yeah, brother, tell me.
That is flattering.
That you would say that.
They look the same. I hope they sound the same. What if he's got videos?
Watch this guy be British, and we're like, actually, I think we got to go.
He studied in England.
Studying at Oxford is fine. They have more access to all that shit. They're right there.
Because they stole it all. Too.
Yeah, bro. That's what's also funny about how they came at Graham for being racist and shit. And it's like, bro, are you an archaeologist talking about, like, fucking with cultures? You guys pillaged all the mounds that had buried people in it. You guys take every goddamn statue you dig up and find.
Yeah. Everything's been moved around. Everything's in a different museum.
You know what I've heard of, you know what the Smithsonian thing is? You know how we always say
they took
how they're exempt? You know how they did that? So they're part of a law that happened before that other law that said all the museums had to do it. They're part of a law that said, like, people request to get their stuff back, and then they go and give it to them. But that law has, like, no rules on it. So they get to say, like, we're a part of a law that does that, but a guy can wait, like, 30 years to get his shit back, and they give you, like, a fucking arrow from it. And it's like, oh, we couldn't find, like, the bones or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, they have way less rules on that one. Where the other one is like, yo, they request that shit from a museum. You got to go find it and, like, show the document and, like, have it good to go.
Yeah.
And that's, like, the level that they're all held to. So when we say that shit, people would debunk by being like, the Smithsonian absolutely follows a law that makes it have to return. And it's like, yeah, but it's a law that is specific to them that lets them fuck around with shit.
So you're saying there's a law that predates like the freedom of information type deal?
The one that hit all the museums, yeah. There's like a specific one. I don't know if other museums are involved in it, but the Smithsonian is in that one. So they get to be like, we have a request and like to get your shit back thing, of course.
Yeah.
But it's essentially like being like, yeah, we test for steroids. But then you, like how the UFC's current setup is, it's like, yeah, but you hired like this guy that like has no background in it and you fired like the best people in the world at it. So do you really care about that?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah. That's interesting.
So if anyone ever calls bullshit on us when we say that blindly because we just watched it in videos and we couldn't really argue it, that.
Yeah. Where'd you hear that from?
That mound guy. So I also should probably fact check it because maybe he just heard it on a video. And I also got into a little spat with him.
Yeah, you're at war with that dude.
I'm not at war with him. I want to be friends. I want to make connections. I want to be in a community.
I think what we're lacking is a connection side.
That's why our name is what it is. That's why it's a good name.
Yes. Well,
right. Good up.
Very good. 2 hours. We'll see you fuckers later.